I'm shocked that Russell Westbrook is announcing his retirement because, just a few days ago he was doing an interview on CNN and he talked about how he didn't want to hang it up and he still had the desire left to play the game and he still had the passion to compete. And all throughout his 18th season with Sacramento, he never suggested or insinuated that he wanted to be done after 2026. So I don't know if Russell Westbrook is done. This announcement seems to be coming out of nowhere, and it's a sharp role reversal for somebody again that just 3, 4 days ago on CNN said he would like to continue playing. So I don't think Russell Westbrook is done. I know he made a retirement announcement, but he's got a lot left in the tank. You saw what he did with Sacramento, even though they weren't all that competitive. He still was fifth in the NBA last year in triple doubles. If this is it, and there's always the possibility that he remains retired, it's just such a strong role reversal. I just can't think that he's actually done. Um, but if he is, he's got one of the all-time great legacies as a point guard, most points of all time, most rebounds of all time at that position. He's got over 10,000 career assists. Him and LeBron are the only individuals, with 27,000 plus points and, 10,000 career assists. I mean, the reality is he is a monster, juggernaut when it comes to putting up numbers in his career. He is a competitor. He's someone that left it all out there. There is some, criticism against him when he got to the big moments in playoff games. He didn't necessarily make the best decisions. And someone with that talent, you would have liked to have seen a more consistent jump shot throughout his career, especially down the stretches of games where it felt like oftentimes he would play his teams out of contention as opposed to in contention. But that's going to be the knock against him. Just like when James Harden retires, in 2, 3, 4 years, the knock against him is going to be he didn't show up when it mattered most, and he was a disappearing act more often than not. So there's always going to be criticism with guys like James Harden and Russell Westbrook, but the reality is, you can make a legit case that this is a top 10 point guard of all time. He is an absolute, no doubt about it, surefire lock to be a Hall of Famer, first ballot, if he does stay retired. And the truth of the matter is, he was the ultimate competitor. I mean, he left everything out there. And I think when you talk about Russell Westbrook, what also has to get mentioned is the kind of teammate that he was. I remember when Nick Collison was retiring 8 years ago, Russell Westbrook made sure to make sure that Nick Collison was front and center. And that he was getting his accolades and he was getting the rightful praise and showered with adulation. And so Russell Westbrook was a great teammate. I remember when I think it was an Oklahoma City Thunder beat reporter. His name was Barry. I don't know why I'm blanking on the last name, but he's been doing it forever. And I remember he was asking a question about the Thunder during the postseason. It was 2017 when Russell Westbrook won that MVP. And he was saying, Russell, why is your team, so different when you're off the floor compared to when you're on it? And Russell wasn't taking the bait. And he said, look, you're not gonna separate us. You're not gonna make this a me versus my teammates kind of scenario. We all do the same thing, whether I'm on or off the court. We win as a team, we lose as a team. And I just remember he was so steadfast and strong-minded, in that particular, press conference. By the way, I got to get this name right. I can't be leaving y'all on that. Barry OKC Thunder beat writer. What was his name? Barry Trammell. Okay, that's what I thought it was. But I remember the back and forth that Russell Westbrook had, and you don't see many players, do that with media, really spar in that way. But Russell Westbrook, man, he never backed down from his positions. He was never afraid to let reporters know where they stood, whether it was a good question or whether it was a question that he felt like they needed to significantly improve on. But if this is it, this is a wonderful 18-year career, one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history, in my opinion, and was an absolute numbers juggernaut at the point guard position, retires with the most triple doubles of all time, 209. It was an incredible career, but I also hope what gets discussed on this particular day is Russell Westbrook, not just as a player, but as a teammate. I don't think this is it. I just think it's such a strong role reversal from what we've heard the last year, even the last few days. I don't know if it's a leverage play. I'm not saying it just doesn't feel like he has the desire to be really retired. I feel like he still wants to play. So we'll see. Wouldn't be the first time a professional athlete makes a decision and then ultimately goes back on it. Hi, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. So I hope this is not it for Russell Westbrook. But if it is, congratulations on an incredible NBA career. Next stop, without question, Springfield, Massachusetts, Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. It's gonna be interesting to see what Russell Westbrook does post-playing career because he's got a really interesting, strong-willed personality. Be a heck of an analyst because he doesn't hold back. But Russell Westbrook, number zero, congratulations, man. Unbelievable career if this is really it.